Man, there are a lot of podcasts out there.
Definitely. I mean, there's 3 million shows, 50 million episodes, and more every day.
I mean, who has the time to figure out which ones are the best podcasts?
We do. That's who. What's up, guys? I am Alicia Renee.
And I'm Dax Holt.
And we are your host of Pod Sauce, a podcast discovery show.
Look at us as your podcast concierge.
We do all the work for you. We listen to the shows, review them,
pick the best episodes, and interview the hosts.
Pod Sauce. Let us help you find your next binge. Tell them where to go, Dax.
Go to podsauce.com.
Have you cut the cord and are feeling bored with your streaming services? CuriosityStream can help. With thousands of documentary films and TV shows, let CuriosityStream put the science back in your screen time. Astound you with history come to life and wildlife that will reach out and grab you. We've got the fix for your nonfiction addiction. Watch us on any device, anywhere you are. Visit CuriosityStream.com to sign up and start streaming now.
What's going on, everyone? Joe DeCamera and John Ritchie. It is 94 WIP. Great to be with you, off and rolling on this Monday morning, following up on a day yesterday where the Eagles somehow, some way won the game. Gutsy comeback. They showed heart. They saved their season with that win in Carolina. But, and this is a big but, there were a lot of issues. There were a lot of bad issues. Who knows how long they saved their season for? We'll talk about it all with you today on the phone lines, 215-592-9494. We want to hear from you. What stood out to you? Hurts, Sirianni, a defense that really responded and took the ball away. The comeback, a 2-3 football team, all of it, 215-592-9494. Richie Rich.
Joe.
Hey, bud.
Apple pie isn't actually American at all.
That's funny.
Apple pie. Apples are native to Asia originally, and the first recorded recipe for apple pie was written in England in 1381.
That is, well,
Asian and English.
How about that? That's a good little factoid right there. I like it. John, I'm in an awkward spot today. I think a lot of us feel it. I'm excited they won, of course. I can't get out of my mind how bad they looked through most of the first three quarters on offense. I just can't get it out of my mind. My biggest takeaway, John, through three quarters, because I already was, and had expressed this very clearly, not a big believer in Jalen Hurts for the future. But my biggest takeaway through three quarters was Nick Sirianni, this guy might have to get fired after the season. I mean, I'm watching that game, and I'm saying to myself, what kind of offense is this? What kind of coaching is this?
Just unbelievable.
And that, John, that thought...
We're on the same page.
Yeah,
there.
I mean, that thought dominated my mind.
I'm with you. My notes, notes that I took during the game, just repeatedly throughout. This is such a poorly coached team.
Absolutely.
Time and time again.
Absolutely.
It crops up every series multiple times, and you can point your finger and just question why and boil it down. They're not being taught the way I thought they'd be taught.
I agree with you.
I thought that would be a strength because of the way Nick Sirianni talked it up.
Yeah.
Talked such a good game. That was a lot of bluster.
It was.
The guy is coming off like a buffoon on game day, and this team is suffering for it. Now, the team is under-talented. We're all aware that the roster is not where it needs to be.
Absolutely.
And it sounds like they lost the way we're talking.
It does sound that way.
It's positive that we pulled that out.
Yeah.
That does take a lot of togetherness, and I feel good about that. I feel good about the belief that they showed. Coach Sirianni raved about how it was a team win after the game. It was almost a team loss. It wouldn't have been the defenses. The defense did a nice job. Now, Sam Darnold, that guy was horrible, and maybe he just flat out stinks. Because, that was – but listen, the corner stepped up. The defense did a much better job. No McCaffrey helped. If he plays, maybe the Eagles lose. Well, they don't have their best player on defense in Shaq Thompson. They don't have their best player on offense in Christian McCaffrey. And he is by far their best player on offense.
I agree.
And it still took what seemed an unlikely special teams play to keep us in that.
Yeah, look, we want to hear from everyone. 215-592-9494. What stood out to you? Hurts was beyond shaky for a while. Just beyond shaky.
For the majority.
Yeah, terribly inaccurate. He threw one ball on a free play like 7 to 10 yards out of bounds. I'm like, what in the world? And then all those simple short passes that he also was just inaccurate.
That out of bounds thing was such a bad sign.
I
mean, you know what you have to do on that play? And he had the right idea. You have to throw it into the end zone. You know how big the end zone is? It's 53.5 yards wide and what is it? 10 yards deep?
10 yards deep.
That's pretty large. We're talking about like however big that is, 530 something, whatever. 530 square yards, and you missed?
It was really bad. I mean, it was really. So, look, with that said, the Eagles absolutely showed grit. They showed resolve. Players made plays. I mean, let's not forget. I mean, it wasn't just it happened. T.J. Edwards blocked that punt. Quez Watkins got past that dude, and Hurts did hit him on that one.
He needs to be given the chance to do a lot more.
I
of
agree.
that.
I agree.
Yeah,
so,
Jalen Reagor and Zach Ertz are the focal points of this offense.
So, look, they showed resolve. They played with heart, and the defense really continuously stood up. And, look, they were greatly aided by Sam Darnold, but the defense did their job, and they took the ball away. I mean, they didn't just stop Carolina. They took the ball away 3 times. So, in the end, I'll say this, and certainly want to hear from everyone at 215-592-9494. This game certainly was important from the standpoint. It was a stay of execution. I mean, it was. If they got to 1-4 and almost a guaranteed loss to Tampa, 1-5, I mean, we'd all be looking around mid-October and saying, I guess that's it. And it's a rebuilding year, but there's no hope for trying to be competitive-ish. This at least leaves open that possibility. But I will say, I am really disturbed by what I'm seeing from Sirianni. I'm not as disturbed on the Hurts front because, honestly, I was already somewhat resolved to the fact that I just don't think he's good enough. But Sirianni's the guy. It's like, dude, you're the coach. I need you to be better than this. I mean, I know there's a chance with 3 first-round picks to get a quarterback and all. I need the coach to be better, and I just am really disturbed by Sirianni.
As a play caller, if you leave out the final run plays of that game where we were up and we were trying to run the clock out, Miles ran out of bounds twice. Again, terrible coaching, but also incredibly stupid by Miles Sanders.
Yep.
If you remove those run plays, we had 8 runs, 2 backs this game. Like, again, if we were down, I promise you none of those plays would have been runs. We would have ended up with 8 handoffs to backs. Yeah. That's coming off 2 weeks where we were up in arms because in those last 2 weeks prior to this game, we handed it off to backs 12 times combined. 12 times combined. So averaging 6 times handing it off to a back. We had 8 handoffs to backs prior to the very end of the game when we were just trying to run the clock out.
Yeah.
And we ran the same formation, essentially the same play, and then a speed option off of it. It was nothing fancy, but I was glad to see that we actually pounded it. I mean, that is a continued problem.
Yeah.
It didn't get fixed. And I thought it was the simplest thing in the world to fix. You've got an athletic quarterback. Granted, it was positive that we used his abilities down in the red zone, and we actually converted with a couple touchdowns with Jalen being allowed to run the football in the red zone situation. We didn't just try to pass it when we got down in goal-to-go situations. So, hey, they learned something from their mistakes of previous weeks. But still, you're not doing the basics that make a team that give a team a chance to possess the football. We got out-possessed by Carolina by 10 minutes. We're 26th in the NFL in time of possession. That's because we don't hand the ball off.
Well, it is, and not just that, John. It's because they don't get the ball to their best players. Now, Devontae Smith was
real problem.
Listen, it was he did a nice job. It wasn't spectacular. 7 catches helps, but I'm telling you, 2 of their best offensive players, Dallas Goedert, he touched the ball twice. Kenny Gainwell touched the ball 3 times.
So Dallas Goedert didn't even start, Joe.
Yeah, well,
Dallas Goedert was on the sideline, sitting and watching. Because Zach Ertz was our tight end in the game.
Yeah, I just
to start the game. That is a travesty.
Well, it's also a travesty for Gainwell, who's probably the better running back right now.
I'm positive he's better. He gives you so much more.
Touched it 3 times. I mean, he touched the ball 3. Now there was one he was open and Hurts misfired to him, but it's like he touched the ball 3 times in a game. Look, let's go to the phones. 215-592-9494. This is not to say that I and we are not excited for the win. Obviously, we are, but I mean, we can't gloss over the fact that it was a win, frankly, let's be real, that was very reminiscent of the wins the Eagles had last year, other than the Saints game, when they had their one impressive win. Remember the way we felt after those other three wins?
A very unimpressive win.
Yeah, you feel kind of dirty. It's like, well, I'll take it, but, I don't think my team's great. I mean, that is, frankly, how I feel this morning. Let's go to the phones and hear from everyone, 215-592-9494. I will just say this one thing on a glimmer of hope. The end of the game, not the very end, but the final quarter or so, showed, and I have believed this all through the offseason, preseason, and the first month of the season, even though they don't do it often, it shows that if you actually let Jalen Hurts have designed runs, this team and this offense could be better. I mean, when I watched the Bills last night, Josh Allen, who's probably one of the three best passers in the world, has designed quarterback runs because he has the skill set to effectively do it. Jalen Hurts has the skill set to effectively run. Why doesn't Nick Sirianni have an offense based around, not entirely, but in large part, Jalen Hurts running and the threat of Jalen Hurts running and how that can open up other aspects of the game?
Think about it.
I don't understand.
You have the numbers advantage every time you do that. You have more guys to block than they have to tackle. I mean, you have one more guy than you do on any other play in your offense, yet we resist doing that, and I believe it's because on high, they don't want the offense to look that way.
Well, let's go to the phones. There's a lot to react to. 215-592-9494. They did win, but it does feel, not the greatest. Dan in Cherry Hill kicks us off. Hey, Dan.
Yeah, Joe and John, man, I love you guys. You know that. I call you guys every week. I have complaints every week, and then the past 2 weeks I've been complaining about Darius Slay. He proved me wrong. He had a great game. Now, I asked you guys last week. I said, do you think this coach will be here next year? And you both said yes. Now, Joe, I think you are very intelligent when it comes to sports. John, you played the game. This guy's got to go, and you know he does. Like this, if we would have lost yesterday, my son's 12 years old. He's like, this guy's got to go.
Yeah.
The play calling is brutal.
Yeah,
now we don't even do. I mean, like Chris Watkins is a stud. And John, I commend you on that because you said that from day one. Watkins was a stud.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now. They don't do reverses to Watkins. Like, make a play. Like, game plan, dude. They're just RPO. The one play, Watkins beat the coverage. He runs out of bounds, throws the ball out of bounds.
Yeah.
The guy was wide open. Watkins was wide open for a touchdown.
I'll tell you.
Brutal. I mean.
Yes. And there was something said after the game by Jalen Hurts about a play where he didn't throw it to Quez Watkins. It was the last play of the first half prior to the field goal.
Wide open.
He was wide open. But then after the game, Jalen Hurts said he was doing what he's coached to do. There is so much to unpack on that statement right there. And I hope we have a chance to do that later.
We'll get to the audio of that. Dan, give me what else you got here. Go ahead.
Now, listen, one more thing is like with the Sanders thing, how stupid the play was at the end, right? And like how he went out of bounds. I think he's just trying to make plays for himself because he doesn't get the ball. Dude, this guy has to run the ball. I'm telling you now, Sirianni cannot be here next year. This is a rebuild year. Well, rebuild this year and start brand new next year. The guy's got to go.
We'll see, Dan. I'm not ready to call for that, but I'll tell you this. My mind is wide open to the possibility they might have to fire Sirianni after a year. It's a poorly coached football team. Now, let's see where it goes in the next month and all that, but it's a poorly coached offensive football team. 215-592-9494. Coming up, we'll get to that audio of Jalen Hurts after the game that John was fired up about. We'll hit that. We'll rock all your calls. Eagles won, and that's good, but, man, they are far from a good team, and they could be better if they were coached better. Joe DeCamera, John Ritchie on 94 WIP.
Help DEA keep our community safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, October 23rd. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your family medicine cabinet of unused and expired prescription drugs. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. To find a collection site near you, visit DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
New this week on Curiosity Stream. Witness the meteoric rise of YouTuber Jimmy Donaldson, a.k.a. Mr. Beast, made famous by his jaw-dropping charity.
We'd like to give you $10,000. This is where things get fun.
On a new episode of Beyond the Spotlight. Plus, meet unique people with the world's most incredible brains on a new season of Secrets of the Brain. Check them out on CuriosityStream.com. Annual plans are just $20. That's $1.67 a month. Visit CuriosityStream.com now.
The climate crisis is here. Time's slipping away to stop the worst effects of global warming, and we need solutions. Hosted by me, Molly Wood, How We Survive dives deep into the economics, the tech, and the human stories behind those solutions. From billionaires trying to monopolize lithium mines to business rivalries so fierce that one CEO was dragged off a plane by federal authorities. How We Survive, following the money to the end of the world because our survival might depend on it. Listen on Odyssey and everywhere you get your podcasts.